Hello, and welcome. Good evening, welcome to this week's Feel Good Friday. This evening's topic is Know Thyself. I have touched on certain parts of this topic in other episodes, but today it's just come to my mind that the study group I'm a part of, Powerful Vibes, the whole idea of it is to get to learn to know yourself better. And as a lot of you know, I went through somewhat of an identity crisis 18 years ago after my surgery, and I thought I knew myself pretty well. But now, after being out of the education system for almost 6 months, I hadn't realised just how far off my own path I had gone and onto the beaten track. And it was quite a revelation, really, that, that it could have had such a hook on me, and I hadn't realised just to what extent. Now, when I say I've touched on certain parts before, I remember back probably about a year into my journey as a supply teacher, I mentioned about kids identifying, as cats and dogs with, this furry phase that's, became a trend. We're not taught in schools by any means to be ourselves, and individuality is stamped out by rules and regulations and uniforms and so on and so forth. But back then, it quite dumbfounded me. I had no idea what was going on. But now, as I get to learn more, the reasons why they don't teach individuality and to think for yourself, it's all starting to fall into place and make more sense. Because if we are our own authentic self as individuals, then we are incredibly powerful. And if we were to unite as one force, as ourselves, but as one collectively, then we would be unstoppable. So hence why the powers that be don't want us to access that part and partake in those kind of activities. So my question to you is, are you aware and mindful of how you follow the pendulum sway and, get caught up in mindsets and beliefs and act or behave in certain ways? I think for me, probably when I started going off my own path was when I became a mother, because historically I've always been, when I had my rebellion and my identity crisis after my surgery, I realised that I'd always strived to be the perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect friend, all of these things that society gives us the standards for, of what is deemed a good role model for each of those things. And then obviously when I was living my own truth and I was in the flow, I was free and single, so I only had myself to account for. And looking back, when I became a mother, I think I probably fell into that role as, well, I probably shouldn't do this, or I probably shouldn't act in that way anymore because I'm a mum now and I've got to be responsible. And yes, to a certain degree, there are elements that, certain things aren't appropriate to be, as a role model for a mother as opposed to a single woman, But I think that was probably where, like I said, it started, where I stopped listening to myself and stopped expressing myself as my own person. That was where it really probably started again. But yeah, so I'm just, like I said, asking whether you're mindful or aware of certain aspects of yourself that you're hiding away. And we always have, a shadow self that we would prefer people not to see. But and I'm not so much talking about that, you know, even though I believe that the people that are meant to be in our lives and truly love us will accept, you know, all sides of us, the good and the bad. But yeah, I'd just like you to take a moment to reflect really at some point and ask yourself whether you are living your, well, whether you actually know who you really are. And if you do, are you living your life through that expression? And if not, what can you do to change that? I recently heard Dr. Joe Dispenza say something quite profound, and it's stuck with me. He says, in this age where information and ideas and strategies of change and manifestation and things are so widely available, we've gone through that era now of it's time to know. He says it's not just the time to know, it's the time to know how. So if there's areas or elements that you're struggling with and you want help or support with that, then do DM me and reach out, and I will be more than happy to do that if I can. So thank you for joining me live, Maisie, and anyone else that's joined live and anyone that watches the replay. I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye.